Hey guys, welcome to another Tracy Talks. So today I wanted to talk about jealousy. Now jealousy is one of those really sensitive and deep topics that I feel we never really discuss, but actually it's one of the biggest struggles that we have as humans. Now I'm not talking about the jealousy where it's like you make it public and you're like, girl, I'm jealous of your bag or I'm jealous of your shoes. I'm talking about the real deep jealousy that people never get to see, but it eats away at our spirit. So as always with topics like this, I'm going to start off with the definition of what jealousy is. So, jealousy is an emotion, and the word typically refers to the thoughts and feelings of insecurity, fear, concern and anxiety of an anticipated loss or status of something great and of personal value, particularly in reference to a human connection. Jealousy is often consists of a combination of emotions such as anger, resentment, inadequacy, helplessness, and disgust. Now, as I was reading this, one of the things that stood out to me was inadequacy. Now, in order for somebody to feel inadequate, they must already have a standard which they don't feel like they are quite reaching. Now, when it comes to jealousy, I feel like that standard is other people. So what we often do is we compare ourselves with other people and we see how other people are doing. And then we look at ourselves and we see, well, am I reaching the standard that they are reaching? And if not, that is where jealousy starts. To me, jealousy is self-inflicted pain, because by allowing ourselves to be compared with each other, we start to feel insecure, inadequate, we start to feel anger and resentment towards the other person. And it's self-inflicted because a lot of the time, the other person has no idea what we're feeling about them. Jealousy causes us to have an over-exaggerated and distorted view of the situation. We tend to exaggerate the gain of others versus the lack that is in us. When sometimes, yes, it is like that. Some people are doing better than you, but a lot of the times it causes us to downplay who we are and what we can do. So I wanted to talk about a person in the Bible who experienced jealousy to the point where it destroyed him. So Saul was the king of Israel, and at the time they would always go to a lot of battles with people. And one of the people that they were facing was Goliath, and a lot of them were fearful of Goliath because Goliath was a lot bigger than them, he was more confident, and they felt like he was more stronger. But then there was this young boy called David, and David was somebody who loved the Lord and he knew the power that was in God. And so one day he was like, you know what, let me take Goliath. I think I could handle him. And he did, and he won and he killed Goliath. And from that time on, people praised David. They really, really loved him. And he went on to help fight a lot of battles and win. To the point where people were like, oh, it's great, Saul, you killed 1,000. But David over here, he's killed 10,000. And initially, Saul loved David, but as time grew on, he started to see, whoa, people love him more than they love me. And so from that created a really angry and resentful spirit in Saul, to the point where he wanted to kill David, and David had to go from desert to desert, hiding from him. But one thing that really caught my eye and was kind of interesting was that this whole time, Saul was king. Saul was the anointed one, that Samuel had anointed him. Yet he was so consumed with what David was doing and how David was faring on that it kind of took him away from his position. And I think that's something that jealousy does to us, is it consumes us so much to the point where we miss what God has anointed us to do because we're so focused on how somebody else is prospering. This brings me back to the saying that the presence of somebody else's gifts, talents and blessings does not equal the absence of your own. Now that doesn't mean that your gifts and your abilities are in the same field, but it does mean that you are also just as valuable and capable as the other person. Alternatively, they could be the same thing, but you are not focused on it. So for example, Saul was just as capable of defeating as many people as David did, but he wasn't focused. So how can we stop being jealous? So for one, we can stop comparing ourselves to the other person. And one way to do this is to not always constantly check up on how somebody else is doing. I think sometimes when we're too involved in the other person and, we're trying to see how they're doing compared to us, we are still doing the thing where we are measuring ourselves up against them. You have to be focused and thankful for what is going good in your life and what can you do to improve yourself or the situation that you are in, because it's about how can I become better, not about how can I become better than this person. Number 2, you have to change your perspective and your thoughts. Stop over exaggerating the situation and thinking that you are a far greater loss than the other person. You have to start learning to love yourself, to be secure in yourself and the things that you have accomplished. Remember that you are just as great, valuable and capable as the person that you are comparing yourself to, and that your valuables do not equal your value. And number 3, you have to understand that you can't love somebody and be jealous of them at the same time. 1 Corinthians 13 verse 4 says, "Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy or boast." 1 Peter 4:8 says, "Love covers a multitude of sins." And you have to get into this mindset where you say, you know what, I'm going to love this person so much to the point where my love is so genuine that rather than desiring what they have, I desire for them to have more, and I am satisfied with the fact that we are not the same people and we are not going to have the same things in life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Hey guys, welcome to another Tracy Talks. So today I wanted to talk about patience. Now I believe there are different forms of patience. One of them is patience with other people. So for example, if you are a mother, you're patient in the fact that your child can sometimes do silly things, but you have to accept and tolerate that that is part of them being a child. But today I wanted to talk about a different type of patience.